My name is Casey Peter Millard.
My name is Liza Pereira.
My full name is James Edward Quinn, but I'm known as Q.
My name is Ronnie Covington.
Earl Jeffrey Gaston. Well, I grew up in South Jamaica, Queens, an area called Baisley Park. A rough area, but I had no challenges. I was rough too. At a very early age, I became a criminal. And if you keep indulging in criminal behaviors, you're gonna end up in the justice system. And that's what happened to me.
Some of the challenges in my life as growing up, both my parents were IV drug users. We were raised poor. We didn't have a lot of money, but my grandmother made do. So I ended up in the justice system because I was actively selling drugs in Buffalo, New York.
I grew up in Syracuse, New York, lived there my whole life. I ended up in the justice system. I was a drug addict for a very long time, made it 10 years without getting any sort of interaction with police, but eventually I got caught stealing.
And I made a choice that I'd rather belong to the crew of the streets rather than stay on the path that had been determined for me. And in choosing the streets, I got involved with crime early. I started using drugs when I was 15. It turns out that with my drug use, I had been infected with Hep C.
I was tested while I was in a correctional facility, and it came back positive for hepatitis B and C.
They tested me when I went to rehab in 2013, 14, 15. Then I went to jail in 2016. All those came up negative. But then when I went to rehab after jail in 2017, October, that's when I found out that I had it.
I was specifically tested in Collins Correctional Facility. The weakness that was overcoming me was what led me to go find out what was wrong. I mean, I was lethargic, I didn't have energy, and that was a concern, especially with me being incarcerated.
My provider suggested it to me that it would be a good idea for me as someone with HIV to be tested for hepatitis C. When I received my test results about the hepatitis C, I was really angry at myself, and I was down on myself because I blamed myself for allowing me to get infected with the second disease. So not only am I HIV positive, now I have to worry about the hepatitis C.
Don't be scared to ask people for help. That's what I did. I was scared for 10 years to ask people for help. Finally, I asked people for help. They helped me more than I could have ever hoped.
I think it's important that everyone does know their hepatitis C status. We have to make the first step and go to a provider.
You're going to get attention in prison now. You're going to have the medical staff that will listen to you, that will talk a treatment plan to you and get you started. I know that for a fact. So there's a whole new change around Hep C in prison. When you find somebody that seems, and that you can feel it intrinsically, that they really care and want to help, it's amazing the turnaround you'll do within yourself.
I experienced side effects such as muscle aches, some headaches, some tiredness and fatigue. What I would also tell someone like me about hepatitis C is that there's a big difference from when I tested and treated 19 years ago to 5 years ago. I treated for a year, but today that's not the case. So 8 to 12 weeks, you take your pills and you're done.
I decided to get treated because it's like a death sentence. You know, you're talking about your liver here. Can't live without your liver. I never experienced any side effects with any of the treatments. The ones that didn't work, and even Maverick that worked. So they gave me 16 weeks of that, and it was successful.
I wanted a better life. I wanted to be me again. I wanted to have people want to be around me. When I found out I had Hep C, something clicked in my head. I need treatment, I need to get out of Syracuse, I need to go somewhere else. I need the most help that these people are willing to give me because I don't want to die. Other than taking the pills, I didn't really have anything happen. gratefully, but it was a smooth ride. It was 3 months, and after it was over. Zero issues after. Had to wait 2 months after my last dose to get the all clear. Went there, got that. My viral load is non-existent. I'll still test for it as an antibody, I guess, but as far as it being active in my body, it is no longer.
I think it's important for people to know that there is going to be stigma and that people are going to look at us a certain way. People might assume automatically that you're an IV drug user. But I think it's also important to know that we have to fight through the stigma so that we can get our treatment and get cured.
I got tested for Hep C because I was shooting up heroin every day for years. I'm 27 years old. How did I get here? How did I get to this point in my life? The doctor was looking at me, he's like, your viral load's not too high, but that can change. And it was a reality check. It was a slap in the face, dude, you're not invincible. This will get you. Stay away from risky behaviors. People in jail do jail tattoos. Those needles, there's no way you're getting a new needle because the one they're using isn't even a needle. And IV drug users get to the point where they end up sharing needles. I've been at the point where I've found one on the ground, I needed it, and I used it. All it takes is blood-to-blood contact. If you have Hep C and your blood touches my blood, I have Hep C.
So I do also work in the field, and I'm constantly having a conversation with people about not sharing their drug use equipment.
They are dangerous behaviors when you're talking about a virus. And be open about it. Don't hide it, because sooner or later somebody gonna find out.
And you need to start caring for yourself and an extension of caring for others. Start practicing safe sex. We got things called condoms.
My strategy to prevent reinfection is condoms.
You gotta listen to what that doctor tells you. And you gotta do whatever work is necessary within you to trust that man, to trust that nurse, to trust that peer, to trust that team. And then try doing what they told you to do. Go to sick call and request to be tested. Don't presume to know anything about what's wrong with you. Let them tell you.
My name is Kayla Sandifer. I travel between 3 correctional facilities promoting compliance with infection control policies and procedures, as well as providing education to the incarcerated population as well as staff. I educate the individuals on the transmission of hepatitis C disease to hopefully get them started on hepatitis C treatment. If there's not time to get them started on hepatitis C treatment, then I link them up with a community-based organization, and they provide follow-up care for them in the community. An individual in the facility can access help by signing up for a sick call, where they get to see an RN and talk with her. She does an assessment as well as vitals, and they discuss their healthcare concerns or their needs for services, resources, which is offered 4 days out of the week. The best advice I can give for an individual thinking about getting treated for hepatitis C disease or tested is to just get tested. Everybody should have a baseline knowledge of what their hepatitis C status is. If an individual starts hepatitis C treatment while they're incarcerated, then they can be expected to be placed on a facility hold, which means they'll be at one facility for 8 to 12 weeks, the whole duration of the treatment. An RN or LPN will administer the doses 1-to-1. We make sure that they have an appointment on the outside to finish the treatment. We also have community-based organizations that help us with that process and offer support. I think the most important thing for them to know is that this is a curable disease. The duration of treatment is short, and the newer medications out there have minimal side effects.
Within 12 weeks, in most cases. I mean, we waste more than 12 weeks of our time. You got 12 weeks and get cured. You can't hide Hep C. You can't let that be a continued secret within your life. You don't have to run from it. You don't have to mistrust other people who are only intending to help you.
Hepatitis C years ago was a disease that was, uncurable. People were scared of it because once you had it, you had it. The cure is out there. It's easy. It takes 3 months, and I went through it, and I feel amazing, better than I've ever felt my entire life. If you ask for help and actually take the advice, it works if you work it. That's a saying that they say a lot, but honestly, there's the most truth to that, because if you put the work in, you'll get the results.
Now that I'm cured, I feel amazing. I feel better health-wise, and I'm proud of myself for actually completing something in my life. The fact that I did treatment for 12 months and I kept all my doctor appointments and I took all my medication was a success for me. And that was just kind of a good thing for me because it allowed me to take that and move forward with my life. It's easy, get screened, get tested, and you can get cured.
Well, now that I've been cured of Hep C, I feel less weight on my shoulders, one less thing to worry about.
Now that I've been cured, I feel I want to tell the world that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's not necessarily a death sentence, but you have to take charge. You got to go get tested.
This is about eliminating something that's trying to kill you. I want to live. I want you to live.
If it's not addressed, my understanding that, it could contribute to severe medical problems.
It was pretty easy decision for me to make because I knew that I wanted to accomplish it, and it was going to be one less thing, again, that health-wise that I had to worry about. It did teach me the importance of going to providers and getting tested for certain things. It did give me more of a sense of empowerment for myself. And the only way that I still stay healthy is for me to take care of me.
Getting treated has made me more proactive.
The hardest thing for me to start treatment was admitting to myself that I needed it. I've seen so many of my friends die. People die in my arms multiple times. It's terrible. Finding out that I had Hep C was the kick in the butt I needed to, realize, where my life was going. And then finally being able to complete that treatment. When I talked to the doctor, he said, you got the green light, you're all good to go, you're cured. You got the 2-month after recognition, and that was amazing.
If nothing else, if you hear nothing else, if you know nothing else, at least we can have a starting point. Get tested.
Get tested.
Get tested.